Thanks for joining us today. And welcome to our first proper AGM, but to our AGM, the African Sons and Daughters AGM, Annual General Meeting. First of all, just a couple of some information about how the day is going to be going, or today's event that's going to be going on. Hopefully you would have got the agenda for today. We're just going to start off with some introductions about the organisation, and then apologies for the absences. Well, I should do that first really, and then I'm going to go into chair report, which is going to be going through this report that you were handed out at the front door, and then we're going to be going through our financial report after that, and then talking about our future plans. And that's going to be followed by any other business as well, and that's going to be an opportunity for you to throw in any suggestions and any questions that you might have. So first of all, let me just make a couple of apologies, most notably apologies for our treasurer Donovan Rowe. He can't make it today due to other commitments, but in his stead we have our financial advisor Keith Hippolyte, who will be making the financial report, and he's been working closely with Don to produce the end of year financial report, which we have a copy here to hand out when the time is ready for you to have a look through. So yeah, there's a couple of other apologies, but we'll add that into the minutes. At least 10 minutes. Okay, so first of all, African Sons and Daughters. Yeah? Some people might know what we're about, some people might not. But we're a non-profit organisation, and we're an unincorporated association at the moment. But that basically means that we're a charitable organisation. We have a constitution, and that means that all of our profits that we get from our operations go back into our mission, and our mission is to promote and encourage the economical, social and physical well-being of the African community living in the UK and worldwide. And this is the purpose of this AGM. We have to hold an AGM in accordance with our constitution, because we don't have any shareholders, we only have stakeholders. That's yourselves. You either volunteer for the organisation, or you donate money to the organisation, or you might participate in one of the services that we provide. So this is to let you know at the end of the year what we've been doing, what our future plans are, and I guess that's the purpose of it. Yeah. So can I just have a round of applause for everybody who's here? Who actually cares? Everybody's here. Yeah, I think so. Yeah? Yeah, I think it is. Okay. I think this is recording. Sorry, guys. Yeah, it is. Okay, so first thing I want to kind of go on to is this, our annual general meeting, our annual report. And this is page 2 of it. Yeah, we're going to go through it just page by page quickly. And as I said before, African Sons and Daughters is a non-profit organisation, and we offer members of the public an opportunity to contribute and support worthwhile community services offered in your community. And the purpose is to link up like-minded individuals that are committed to establishing social networks with the sole purpose of providing resources and services that improve the well-being of our communities in the UK and the worldwide African diaspora. And as well, most importantly as well, ASD is a non-partisan organisation and non-religious organisation. So we have no particular religious domain. We have Muslim members, we have Christian members, we have some Jedi members, I'm sure of it. and as well, we have no political ties as well. So you can be a UKIP voter and be here. We won't judge you. Labour as well, Conservative, Green Party, whatever you want to be. It's non-political. We're just literally focused on producing services for our community. That's the main thing. And we're just going to quickly go through some of our aims and objectives. And one of our aims, they kind of link up, the aims and objectives. The first aim that I'm going to say is to provide a platform for the members to harness our collective strength for the benefit of the wider community. Yeah? And the way that we're going to try and do that is by establishing and gaining support for ASD in multiple boroughs of London. Because the idea is that if you can link up people who have the same commitment and same values and actually want to do something in their community, they can harness their collective strength, and that's what we're trying to do. Another aim is to ensure that we are ethical in all aspects of running the organisation, and one of the ways that we're going to try and to accomplish that is to have standard rules and policies throughout the organisation in accordance with national guidelines. That's very important as well, because we need to have clear rules and regulations for everyone to follow. So if you have a service here in East London, it doesn't differ too much to the service in North London. So it's quite important that wherever people see African sons and daughters, we uphold that standard. And another aim for us is to provide a steady income and support network for community services that are valued but susceptible to recent and any future government policy changes. And that's actually quite an important point, because one of our objectives is to source reliable monthly donors, because there's been a lot of budget cuts. African Sons and Daughters was created in 2011, and I think from 2011 we haven't really changed our tune. A lot of the budget cuts are going to come into effect in 2015. They recently released the budget for 2015. The budget cuts that were made in 2011 are only going to go further. They're not going to bring back any of the money. So actually what we're proposing here is actually a real necessity. It's not a nice idea or novel idea that we might want to do. It's actually something that we need to do as a community. So one of the next things that we had as our aims is to establish and successfully run multiple Kings and Queens homework clubs in different boroughs of London, and the objective for that is sourcing donations to pay for suitable spaces for the Saturday homework clubs and recruiting volunteer tutors to run the homework clubs. The homework club, Kings and Queens homework club, is a part of one of our services, which is the Kings and Queens educational service. And it's been the first service that we kind of got up and running, because if you ask anybody, children are pretty important. I think you would agree with that. Am I alone in that thought? I don't think so. So that's where our main focus was, having a service that actually provided something to children. And actually we do have a proposal as well, if you haven't seen it, at the front desk for you to go through. But it's also a perfect example of what we can do when we come together as a community, because it costs £18 a month, which is really reasonable, and it makes that type of service more accessible to the parents. But then with the support of the wider community, we can make that type of service a bit more accessible. African Sons and Daughters, through the donations, we pay for the insurance, we take on the liability because we have to recruit people, because remember, when they're cutting services and when they're cutting funding, that's what they're cutting, their liability to put on these kind of things for our community. So it's going pretty well, if I'm honest, but we'll go through that anyway in the future. To establish and run Advice and More legal aid provisions in multiple boroughs of London. We haven't started this program yet, but in the next year or so, that's one thing that we want to do. An objective for that would be sourcing volunteer lawyers, legal advice professionals, and donations in order to acquire suitable spaces for the legal advice centres. You know, because it's quite important as well. Actually, that was one of the major things that was cut in the first budgets, and actually one of the things that they announced in the first budget cut, I should say, that they were going to make a lot of changes to the legal aid system, and I think it's employment is a big thing that was cut. Immigration cases was another thing that was cut. These are things that are sometimes disproportionately affect our community, so it might be a useful thing to look into providing for our people, because it might be something that affects people that are from outside of the EU, etc. But that's something that we are going to be looking into in the future and moving forward on it. And as well, another aim was to establish and run the Yam Yam Food Cooperative, because food's pretty important as well. You know, it should be. They call it food accessibility. You know, that's the phrase for it. Everyone should have access to food. It's quite an important part of living. You know, and actually since 2011, there's been quite a lot of increases in the amounts of food banks that are operating in the UK, because as people's benefits have been adjusted, they've found it a lot harder to feed themselves. So moving forward over the next 5 years, that might be the case even more so when they make further changes. So yeah, these are some of our aims and objectives that we're working on. And as well, just to introduce the two people a little bit further, that's the next part of what this report says, is our current committee. You have myself. I didn't really introduce myself, but I'm Daniel Stennett. I'm the chair and founder of African Sons and Daughters. We have my mum. She doesn't like me saying that she's my mum, but she is my mum. I can't deny it. Paulette Stennett, who's our secretary. And as well, this isn't Donovan Rowe. This is Keith Hippolyte, who's our financial advisor, who works with Donovan, our treasurer, and advises him. 20 years experience. It's been great to have him on board. Yeah, really great. And as well, we have, he's actually down there. You're the first one there.
Yeah.
He's our financial advisor. He's there on paperwork as well. And as well, in the crowd, we have Elizabeth, Isan, and sorry, I'm just gonna apologize. Sometimes I murder names, so I just apologize if I do. And also we have Joyce Johnson over here as well, who's also our advisor. Both these ladies have a lot of experience and have been extremely helpful in helping us in regards to the policies and procedures and the management of the organisation. And as well, I need to give her a shout as well, Afia, Diabo, Afia, because I'll be honest, I didn't know anything about education when I first started off. I just had the will to do it. But Afia's always been a really good advisor for me. She's a teacher, behaviour specialist. So I had to give her a shout because she's one of my senior advisors, and I always do contact her if I do have any questions. Cynthia Stennett is my aunt. Also, a lot of experience in education, was a lecturer. I asked her for advice as well. And Akila Balagoon, another valued advisor on the education side of it. So we're just going to go over and talk about the achievements of African Sons and Daughters so far, because this is what we've actually done so far. And achievement to date. Our services, the ASD HQ is where we are now. We've just recently moved in 2 months ago, and it is officially our main HQ. We've moved it out of my bedroom and made it official. African Sons and Daughters has its own office space. This address is 5 minutes walk from Stratford Station. If you guys have come from Stratford Station, when you leave here, you'll see how close we are to a central line location. It's quite central. And as well, we're going to start holding our monthly new member meetings here, because we hold new member meetings on the second Tuesday of every month. At the moment, we used to operate them out of the church on New Grange Road. But now that we've got this space, we're going to start holding them here. It's a lot easier for people to get to. So yeah, this is the HQ, you know? And as well, we have upstairs a meeting room that we can use for our subcommittee meetings. And it's a 3-man office upstairs as well, you know? So it's pretty good. It costs us £250 a month, you know, which I think is extremely reasonable for what we get, you know. And we can run our workshops, etc., in the evening and all this kind of thing. But we'll talk about that in the future. But Kings and Queens Homework Club, yeah, it's our premium service. I'm paraphrasing here, if you haven't gathered, but it's our first, you know, key service that we came up with, and it's an independent youth service, yeah, because African Sons and Daughters is the parent company, and it's a part of the Kings and Queens Educational Service, part of African Sons and Daughters, and we're working with children aged 6 to 16, boys and girls, and we focus on. Sorry, I'm going to read through this. Yeah, and we currently have 2 homework clubs in Edmonton, North East London and Forest Gate, East London, and we have 3-hour sessions every single Saturday, 9:30 to 12:30. The sessions enable us to assist our students with their homework and provide additional maths, English and extracurricular activities throughout the year. We also believe that it is vital to work alongside parents, so we promote and encourage parent-child homework support. You know, Akila calls me the download king, because trust me, if you want anything, you can find it on the internet. I downloaded a template for a homework club, but then I've adjusted it a little bit to suit our needs. And the good thing about working in Forest Gate has been that we've been able to develop the structure of the clubs. So by the time it does reach North East London, they've got a solid work scheme set up and solid structure to work with. Yeah, and actually that's something that goes for the other homework clubs that we'll start up in the future as well. But just to break down some of the stats, at the moment, Forest Gate Homework Club has 15 students. Edmonton Homework Club has 12 students. In total, we've had 40 students enrolling with us. We have 12 active volunteer tutors. And we're due to start a new homework club here in Stratford as well in September. That's why I didn't want to say too much about the HQ. But that's an example of us using the space that we have. You know, because no one's here on a weekend, so we can use it on the weekend. Yeah. Next page, page 4. ASD workshops. And one of the first workshops that we came up with was parent advocacy courses. And we worked in partnership with the Community Empowerment Network to provide parent advocacy courses in Forest Gate and Tottenham for parents with children that have been or are at risk of being excluded from school. We offered it to our tutors involved in the KQES service and promoted it to members of our community. You know, that was a good thing. That was, I actually did like that. You know, I know Joyce came to one as well. I promoted it to our tutors, but I think we did learn from that sometimes it's not good to schedule these kind of activities for our tutors in the half-term break, because sometimes if they see that there's a break, they'll make other arrangements. So we didn't get as much tutors coming through and as much people that we wanted to, but it's a good example of what we can do in the future with our workshops, because it's something that actually does affect our community, and you'll hear this word quite a lot, disproportionately, you know. So it's good that we engage with organisations that are out there already and start holding workshops if we can, because we can facilitate it as African Sons and Daughters, you So the next one, talking about facilitating courses, is the free adult courses, which were funded by the European Social Fund. Free courses at various levels will be offered by ASD. The courses will begin in June, and the date of registration was the 17th of May, between the time of 3 and 7 o'clock at our HQ. As soon as I got the key, I wanted to start holding things in here. It was open to anybody above the age of 19 that was resident of an EU country or has the right to live and work in the UK. And there's a list of the different courses that were there. You know, I think in total we registered 32 people. You know, 10 of our tutors out of those 30 odd people, and the rest were people from our mailing list. You know, some people I hadn't seen at any new member meetings, but as soon as there's a free course, they came down. You know, but then, if I'm honest, that's a part of what we're doing. You know, letting people know about the stuff that is available to our community. But sometimes we might not be aware of it. Does that make sense? Yeah. And as you can see, there's a lot of different courses here. All of our tutors were encouraged to do the first aid at work, because obviously if you're working with children, we would like to get you to have that qualification. And if we were going to pay for it, I think it would be like £80 each. But then we had other people volunteering for, or going in for other courses. Okay, so that was the courses. The next one was French internships and English lessons. We had an opportunity to take some interns from France for administration and work experience, and they highlighted the market for education aimed at foreign students here in the UK. We can offer the individuals the chance to gain work experience alongside improving their English with the courses that we provide. We have had interns over the past 2 summers, which has allowed us to develop the program, and we will promote it more in the future. You know, because definitely English courses is something that we will start holding here in the evening. We're just going to have to look for somebody who's qualified to do those courses. Because I think once you do have the qualification, you can sit people in the exams, and you can dish them out the certificate and everything like that. So yeah, future plans, moving swiftly on. I heard everyone's page turn. We're making plans to open 2 more Kings and Queens homework clubs. One in Stratford, which is already confirmed more or less, and Wembley as well, Northwest London in September, which still has to be confirmed, Northwest London, but Stratford is pretty much confirmed. ASD plans to launch constant and comprehensive recruitment campaigns, which will be maintained with the financial support of our members. The campaigns will recruit more volunteers, donors and service users. You know, so that's basically, I don't know how a lot of you have encountered us, but we do a lot of canvassing. You know, there's no shortcuts around it. You have to get out there and engage the community. There's no shortcuts around it. ASD plans to secure more donors and support through fundraising and community events, and ASD plans to further initiate adult community workshops that increase knowledge and improve the existing skills of the attendees. We want to form subcommittee consisting of professionals from relevant industries for each of our services, which will be responsible for managing and organising our services. And we also wish to obtain company limited by guarantee status and apply for funding to expand our services and our organisation's capacity. You know? So that's in the up and coming year. I should have gone into that last, but I'm going to swiftly move on and introduce Keith Hippolyte to my left. Ralph's crashing the party. You have to go sign in over there. Yeah. So I'm just going to hand it over to Keith. And one thing as well, can I just give this out to you before Keith starts? This is a copy as well of our financial report. Can we get this back as well, if possible? Keith's just going to go through this for us.
Okay, what you have here in your hands is the financial statements for African Sons and Daughters, year ending March 2014. Now, the financial statements are comprised of the trustees' annual report, the receipts and payments of the accounts, statement of assets and liabilities, notes to the accounts. I will start by saying the governance and management. The committee members form standard rules and policies in accordance with the national guidelines for non-profit organisations and in line with central government policy to give more active powers to the community. I would swiftly move forward to the part of the receipts and payments on accounts year in March 2014. We had donations of £3,889.76. Our payments, we had purchases at 214.17 pence. Staff travel 151.01. Rent was £1,640. Stationery and printing was 629.73. Maintenance was 169.05. Hospitality, which is something like what we're doing now, it forms part of the hospitality and fundraising and so on activities, was £281.92. Bank charges, well, you can't get away from bank charges, I'm afraid, was £34.55. And we had professional fees, which the professional fees are the CRB. We had one at £9.60. So that is the payments and receipts account for year 2014. Going to the assets and liabilities on the next page, we have the current account standing at the close of the year was £336.12, and we had a liability of £8.25 that is still outstanding. That basically concludes the financial statements. The receipts and payment accounts are statements that summarize the movement of cash into and out organization during the financial year. And this context, cash includes cash equivalents, for example, bank accounts where cash can be readily withdrawn to pay debts as they become due. And that concludes the financial statements. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Keith. Was I right in saying that people have to give this back?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So yeah, we'll look at this as well afterwards, but you can have a look at that with the annual report. So, does anyone have any questions for Keith about his financial report? Any questions? No? Pre-academic? No? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Keith.
Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, the next part is future plans. Yeah. Before we get into any other business, and any other business, I want to give people opportunity to throw in any suggestions that they have that they want to see in the new year, and any questions that you might have about what we've said today. but I'm seeing quite a lot of familiar faces here. You know, maybe one new face I haven't seen before, but everyone else I think I've seen before. You know, and you can see this is our first kind of meeting here, like official kind of event here in this building. And we touched on the future plans briefly. And I can't really... I think one of the main things that hasn't been included in here, because this is literally for the year that's been before, has been an opportunity to take on people from the job centre. You know, that's actually a new opportunity that's come up, because I don't know if anyone's too aware of it, but there's actually a new scheme that actually, if you're on benefits, either job seeking or otherwise, you might actually have to work in order to keep your benefits. You know, so called a work program or work placement program. Up to 30 hours you're required to do. Up to 30 hours. And we were actually approached by a company called Urban Future, if you can imagine. And they're going to have access to 4,000 people, you know, over a space of 10 London boroughs. So, if I'm honest, I did see this in 2011, something that they were kind of thinking about introducing. And I guess this is a good opportunity for us to take part in it. Because if we have an opportunity for people to work within the community, instead of working, say, for example, in a Poundland or something like that, that doesn't necessarily help them, it might help shareholders. Not specifically their community or themselves, because it wasn't help them with their development. We could possibly give them that opportunity, you know. So that's actually one major future thing that I would like to add onto this, but I can't technically add onto this because it hasn't been confirmed yet. Yeah, but we should be able to take on about 15 to 20 people to help with the canvassing. You know, which will be a major thing, because the organisation actually approached us, you know, and I guess it's adding to the strength of what we're doing, that people can actually say, okay, cool, this is an organisation that we work with, you know. So that's something that we're hoping to tie up in the next couple of months. But yeah, that's our future plans, I guess, you know, just to expand what we're doing, to work on the base that we have here, and to push out our services a little bit more, just continue on with the good work that we're doing. I'm going to move into any other business, because I think that's one of our main future plans. Yeah. Does anyone have any suggestions or any interjections that they would like to make at this time?
That I meant to ask anyway.
Go ahead.
Yam Yams, when are we looking to get that up and running and started?
Okay. We need to have a little bit more financial stability before we go into Yam Yams. And as well, that's what we're working towards, forming a new structure, so then we can become a legitimate business, because at the moment an unincorporated association will only allow us to do so much. But hopefully, I would say because we're in June, I'll say mostly in a year or so.
So something for the near future?
Yeah, something for the near future. Something for the near future. Hi Mike. Is there any other... Thanks for that question, Andres. Any other questions or any other suggestions? Anything you might want to see us add on to this? Oh, sorry, can I throw in something? Because as you can see, we've got quite a liquid structure where we can take things on. and we are going to be working on more adult workshops. We're very grateful for this space. I think one of the first workshops that we need to develop is our interviewing skills, because Joyce, who I mentioned earlier, she works for a financial institution in the HR department, and that's something that she's really passionate about, giving people those skills for interviews, and you can kind of see how that might work with what we're doing in the future. We would work to kind of see who else is out there, because I think there's other workshops as well along the lines of child safeguarding that let me just quickly point out Maremi. Maremi? Yeah, Maremi. She works for an African organisation at the moment, but that's something that she's passionate about, that we would mostly be looking to work with in the future. But I guess that's the idea of African Sons and Daughters, you know, that wherever you are, if you want to do something in your community, you can, because I think a lot of people were mentioning provisions for the elders as well, you know, but we've kind of focused on the homework club to begin with, because that's been the main bread and butter of the organisation, as you can see from the financials, because it was kind of confirmed what I already knew, if I'm honest. We haven't been getting a lot of donations. Nothing really, if I'm honest. A couple of donations here and there. But for me, the main objective, because to begin with, it was kind of like a one-man team to begin with. For me, the main objective was to get as many emails as possible so we can keep people informed of what we're doing, and to keep the homework clubs up and running, you know? Because the homework clubs actually pay for African Sons and Daughters, you know? So now moving forward, when we have more workshops and more things going on, hopefully we'll be able to get that support from the community, you know? So, yeah, that was my contribution to any other business. So, is there anybody else who wants to throw in anything? Mr. Ant? Website. Major Achilles heel at the moment. But we do have somebody working on it, yourself, as you know. We have Patrick as well, who's... We've had a lot of good people. We really are building up the team. Because after any other business, I've got to go through my thank yous, so I am going to get to that. But we are really building up a good team, because that's the only way this will work. You know, this is the only way that this will work. It won't work if it's one person doing everything. It does. It wasn't set up to be like that. That's why we're setting up the subcommittees to take charge of running each of our specific services, and as well within the organisation, we're going to have people donating their time each month to do specific things, because volunteering 12 hours a month is maybe even more important at the moment, or equally, I should say, equally as important as someone donating £12 a month, you know. So yeah, the website, we've also got a young man working with yourself called Fude. I did think, he's not here to tell me if I got it right or wrong, but I think his name is Fude. I think, yeah, it is Fude. And he's developing our website for us, you know. Because I think one of the main things to answer your question about the website is that I didn't want to throw something up to begin with, saying all the services that we're going to do without anything being up, you know. But I guess it's different now, because we're going to have the content to go in there. You know, the first one was just kind of throw something up just to let people know that we've got a site and you can contact us. And for the emails, that was it. But that should be done within a month. That should be done. Yeah, month and a bit or so, as you know. Yeah. Are there any other questions for anybody?
I'm concerned about finding the place, and it's quite problematic, and I think it needs to be clear when so people can really know, maybe some sort of landmark, because as you know, we've tried to have your printed delivered 3 times, and I can't find it, and I struggled to find it today. actually parked quite a way off, so might be, I don't know, something to be included with the address, or because it doesn't actually show 98. I just kind of just walked until I saw your little sign. Just something to think about.
You're not the only person. I think Tessa ended up near the Olympic Park. Oh no, that was you.
That was me.
Keith ended up near the Olympic Park when he first came here. Tessa went halfway towards the Olympic Park. It is a bit awkward to get here, but I think to address that we mostly have to have a written description as well.
Is there a name of this building? Got a name?
Yeah, Docklands
Community.
Settlement Centre, yeah.
So if you could put that
Yeah.
as part of the address, so people when they see that they know it's in there.
I'll put that in there. That is a valid point.
But I've just redirected the printer to be sent to me, and then I'll bring it over.
Cool. So we're ironing out little things like that. And hopefully as well, actually, as time goes on and more people know where we are, because I think they actually operate a computer fair out of here as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's about building up a reputation of where you are as well. So, and actually, sorry, to answer that point as well, I can remember the computer fair, they used to have someone with a sandwich board outside the station. Yeah, outside the station. So we might in the future have to direct people from the station to say, okay, what are you looking for, African Sons and Daughters? It's down this way, go over the bridge, Because I know Jessica, who's based in northwest London, she's never been here before. So she must be wandering in kind of after walking around for a couple of hours. So, and you, just like you. So yeah, that is something that we have to address, but we'll get there. Is there any? Yeah, that's direction, isn't it? Is there any other business part? Any other suggestions? Oh, can I throw something in while we're here? Oh, yeah, Joe's going.
I'm just looking at the free adult courses.
Yeah.
Is this going to be something that's going to be ran on a regular basis, or is this just a one-off? That was for registration in May.
Yeah. If I'm honest, like a lot of those services, the courses were a perfect example of what we can be offered if we have an organisation. So this is someone trying to find us now. But this is a perfect example of what's out there. They're run regularly, those courses.
Are we going to run it regularly?
Hopefully, in the future, we'll be able to apply for the funding to run those courses, because all we need to do to run those courses is a space, which we have, and the only thing we don't have is the assessors. You know, because if we had the assessors on board, they'll be able to run the courses, and then we say, okay, cool, we've got assessors that can do first aid at work, security, qualifications. You know, that's the only missing part of the puzzle. But in order for us to kind of work towards that point, we need to be able to show that, one, to our people that are supporting us and our members, that we can put on those kind of services, and that is something that we're doing. But I am on the outlook for more free MVQ courses.
Right, because you said you had about 30 odd people,
Yeah.
20 from the outside and 10.
Yeah, internal.
Even if we ask them to, they're not paying for the courses, are they?
No.
So we can have like a donation, their donation in the donation box for those, you know, who want to attend. I mean, even if it's a £5 or something, at least we're growing our money.
Yeah, maybe next time. Donations
If we do any more.
Donations at the free courses.
Let them come first, don't tell them about the donation. No, but seriously, we can have a donation box. You know, they're not paying, if they pay for these courses, some of them are quite costly, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So even if it was a £5 each, or don't stipulate, make it just be a donation box there.
Yeah.
Then we get some money, and that'd be good if we done them regularly.
Yeah. No, you're right. I jotted that one down. Any other good suggestions like that? No? Because actually, one thing that I want to ask as well is because the only reason why we were holding the new member meetings on Tuesday is because in the old church that we had, Tuesday was the only day available. in the evening, so that's why it fell on a Tuesday. Some people found Tuesday a bit awkward to meet at 7 o'clock because it was from 7:30 we used to start to about 9:30 on a Tuesday, and I was considering to changing it on a Saturday to this kind of time to hold our new member meetings here, because Forest Gate is 2 stops from Stratford. Stratford's a bit more central for people. How do you guys feel? How would you feel about that? Would you say Tuesday over Saturday, or as a show of hands? Can I have a show of hands for Tuesday? Yeah, but if I'm honest, I need to stop saying that. It would be after the homework clubs. Yeah, because the homework clubs are from 9:30 to 12:30. This would be from about 2 till 4, or 2:30 to 4, at the same time here.
I am thinking probably it could stretch the tutors or those who
It's only for new members, so it wouldn't be for tutors or anything. It might stretch me and the people that are doing it, but it won't stretch the tutors, because the new member meetings are just for people to kind of hear the presentation once a month, and that's it. Yeah.
Hopefully recruit new members.
Yeah.
To hopefully recruit new members.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a question really about the new membership and recruiting. But I just wanted to know if there was anything in the pipeline to maybe target more of the male community.
Male community.
Because I know, there's a lot of women that I see the members that come and so forth. But I just wondered if there was any way to redress the balance or anything.
Because I think why we've had that is because the first service that we created was the homework club, first of all, and out of all the people that I've interviewed, which has been about like 46 people, and we've had 5 men. We had 5 men out of 40 odd, yeah. So it's not a thing of I haven't purposely gone out there to try and recruit women. The women, even though I know you're trying to suggest that, but the women, but no, I was joking there. Don't run with that one. But the women tend to have taken this to heart, and if I'm honest, any changes that we do want to see in our community will be women led. I believe that, because I can look at other organisations and see that it's quite men heavy. So yeah, sure, I'd like balance, but it's a good thing, I think, that we've got quite a strong female presence in what we're doing, and it's family orientated. But you're right, in time it will balance out,
Maybe you can have a session when you're doing canvassing to target specific male, when you're at the stations and all that, to redress the balance, if that would help. I don't, just
Okay, a men only week. A men only week.
When you're canvassing, you could go out and say, not target, but be more males, or do something or say something that get to engage them more. Yeah.
Yeah. You mean like male-focused campaigns, really?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because young, especially nowadays, especially in our area, because young boys, I shouldn't really stereotype, young boys I think need male role models, if that's, not that, there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel that they need more male role models to look up to. They can identify with them a bit more.
Yeah, because that is something that we're going to go into in regards to the homework clubs, or kings and queens. The next thing that we were trying to develop is the mentoring side of it. Yeah, because like I said, it does lean heavy on the female side, the education part of it. And I guess that's what we try to do as well with the homework clubs, is a mixture of the homework clubs plus a little bit of the mentoring side in the future, something as we can offer. So yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I do. We do try. We do try, and I've actually got the statistic actually on our mailing list. I haven't got that statistic. How many males to females? But I think it was kind of even. I think it was like, I did do some market research, and I think it was 55, 40, 45. Yeah, I think it was 55, 45 female. So I am pretty even. I'm not just chasing women, I'll be honest. No.
No, I don't think you mean that. You're just getting them in through the door.
Oh, no,
So
definitely.
that they reflect.
No, I know what you mean. But we do try to get everyone, and I think to address that, we're going to have more male-focused campaigns. So we say, listen, brothers, I know you're on this mailing list. Like, we need to see you.
Mentoring is good, I think, if you encourage them to be mentored.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ralph had a question.
Hmm?
Ralph had a question.
So,
I just wanted to suggest that although it's quite just a very calm and quiet meeting,
yeah.
it's actually, if you like, a celebration of your first year of work undertaken, or this last year. And you should maybe put some testimonies in from the people that have benefited from the club. So just a sheet, an A4 sheet with some quotes from the youths that attend the clubs, anyone else that has enjoyed being part of the process of ASD. I think that'll just bring out some of what you've achieved already.
Okay.
It is a big achievement. It will take a lot more hard work to build on. I was involved in a mentoring program at East Thames, which was targeted specifically at so-called young black men, and I did that with an educational psychologist who put that together. So I could speak to him about being involved in a committee to do the mentoring process as well. Yeah, but testimonies are always good. I mean, I would give a testimony today that although it's very quiet and some background noise, it's still a brilliant process to be a part of. Apologies for lateness.
That's cool, bro. That's cool. But let me just jump in, because you kind of beat me to my punchline. We actually have feedback forms, which we'll ask everyone to complete as well. So he did raise a very good point, but we do have the paperwork to back up as well. So yeah, I'm with you on that one, bro. And as well, he's right though, actually, because any other business. And sorry, I couldn't pick up your phone call. Regionally, she just came in. Hi.
Sorry, I'll click on it, please. Apologies.
Yeah, we were talking about that. And I saw your phone. We were talking about it, and then I knew you couldn't find it. We're going to leave this on the last couple of questions.
Just one small thing.
Yeah.
We could think about having guest speakers.
Yeah.
In as well. That might carry a bit of weight.
Yeah. I invited everybody to this annual general meeting. All the local councillors. Mayor, he's the only one that responded, actually, the mayor. So he couldn't come down. Simon Woolley, Operation Black Vote. A couple other people I did invite down.
They're probably walking around outside now. Sorry, that was so tempting.
I know, I walked into that one, I was asking for that one. But she got a point. Truth is said in jest, isn't it?
So did we invite them in time for the meeting? And the day this one said, no, I can't come. Did we ask them whether or not they can give a speech on a subject or something?
Yeah, I did ask someone from Operation Black Vote to come down and to kind of talk about it. But obviously Saturday is a busy day. They can't come down, so. But guest speakers is something that I've been told about before. But sometimes it's difficult to get someone down. So yeah, apologies for that. So yeah. I just want to wrap up any other business part of it quickly, but I just want to kind of say a couple of thank yous just to kind of wrap it up. First of all, thanks for everyone who's come down today, to show your support for it on a Saturday. Thank you for everyone who's donating on a regular basis, and everyone who's volunteering for the services. I've got a couple of particular thank yous. All of the advisors that we had on this sheet here. Keith, to the right of me, really appreciate his help. Years of experience, and he's seen what we're doing, and he said, okay, cool. He started off as a tutor in Edmonton, and we kind of dragged him in. When I saw his CV, I was like, okay, cool, we need you. Elizabeth as well has been aware of what we've been doing from the start. Years of experience, and just a really good person to talk with, so thank you as well, Elizabeth. Joyce, recent addition via Facebook, but quality over quantity with Facebook, and really great to have you on board. Really love the energy that Joyce brings. And Afia, as I mentioned before, Afia, she's not here today, but I do want to give her a shout out. My aunt as well, Cynthia Stennett, who's got support for me as well in putting herself forward to get involved more in the organisation, in the subcommittees and so forth. And as well, Akila, Miss Akila Balogun, one of the first people that kind of supported me, creating all of our business plans and all that kind of stuff. She didn't have to, but she did. And as well, I'd like to thank Jerry as well, Jerry Powers, that's his real name. An elder who has run a couple of community organisations in the past, and has always been very supportive and giving me a lot of advice in regards to running an organisation. And I know there's a lot of other people as well. And I'd like to mention Nia as well, from the National Association of Black Supplementary Schools, because he's always been very supportive. He came to our first meeting in 2011, and from then he's always been supporting what we've been doing. And as well, real heartfelt support to everyone, and this is everyone who's ever supported what we're doing. All the volunteers, all the volunteers, every single one of them, because without people coming on a Saturday and supporting what we're doing, we wouldn't be here where we are to talk with you. Tessa as well, Tessa King, who does hold down the North London Homework Club with a really excellent young man by the name of Michael Ababreshe. I've practiced that for a couple of years. Ababreshe. But yeah, Michael's really great, really good example of the good young people that we have here. He's 25, teaching assistant. He's training to be a teacher, but he runs the North London Homework Club so competently. He's used the systems that we have in place, and he's really flourished in North London, and they have the real commitment based in North London. And I'll say as well, big shout out to Chantel, I want to say thank you to Chantel as well, aka Nana, was one of our first interns with me, who gave us a lot of support and worked with me when we had no office and we're just meeting in libraries and Weatherspoons, using their Wi-Fi and stuff. So, and as well, actually, Chantel actually found the church for Edmonton. So without her help, we wouldn't be in Edmonton, moving things forward in another London borough. So I need to give her a big shout out. She couldn't make it today. Donovan as well, Mr. Donovan Rowe, who's helped me start off African Sons and Daughters as our treasurer. You know, he's not here today, but I would like to give him a big thank you as well, because he's been really supportive. And I'm going to go, I know there's a couple other people as well, you know, but everybody who's supporting me, I have a really big thank you allowance. So I do say that quite a lot, but you know the expression, you can't say thank you enough. It is very true. And, you know, I can't say thank you enough to the people that are involved in what we're doing. And as well, I said last but not least, my family, and as well my mum to my left, who's been one of our #1 supporters of African Sons and Daughters, and I dragged her in. So I like to say that last but not least, my mum, one of our #1 supporters from day one. And she's got more and more involved in the organisation as time goes on. So I'm very proud of her, and I want to thank her for being involved. So that was everything. Like Ralph said, this is quite a quiet meeting. No one's throwing any chairs or anything at me. Maybe in the future, but not right now. No, I won't even wish that on me. But very calm. And this is our first. We had a first AGM just to form it, but this feels like our first proper AGM. You know, we've got a nice report with some decent things in it. Plans for the future, and support from people like yourselves who are taking time out in the day to come down and see what's going on. You know, your stakeholders. There's no shareholders in this. And what Dee's doing as well, I think she's handing out. What are you handing out, Dee? Feedback. Thank you. So she's handing out the feedback form for everyone to fill in. Please be honest. Yeah, please be honest with it. And I think we'll leave it at that. Can we have a big round of applause for ourselves in African Sons and Daughters? Sorry, I did forget somebody. Patrick over here behind the camera. Actually, Patrick's great as well. He's actually going to be on board as our kind of cameraman.